I am supposed to be doing yard work, but I can't really get into the swing of it, so we'll do another one. I just don't feel like it today. It's all like weeding and raking and like bagging up heavy, wet leaves, so I don't know, we'll just go in the skull caverns instead. And I know I have like a bunch of starfruit ready to harvest today, but we can push it off one more day because we have good luck and one extra day of not harvesting won't kill us. Plus the second plot isn't ready yet, and I'd rather do them all in one day instead of losing 2 days to 2 harvests. So that's kind of what we're going to do. And we don't really have a ton of resources right now for the caverns, like not a lot of stone or staircases, but we have enough to make it count, kind of. Or at least enough to get a little bit of iridium to make some money. And it'll be probably a quiet run, nothing too spectacular. I may not even use the rock candy. Like if the run starts going relatively well, maybe I'll pop it, but a lot of the time what I'll do, especially later on, is I will just staircase down a couple hundred floors and then I'll use the rock candy. Because it's kind of pointless to use if you're just going to sit there and use staircases over and over again. But I mean, this run is going okay. Like, no shafts, but it's a quick enough pace that it'll get us there. And then I think the rest of the week is going to be just chores, or the rest of the, couple days. I should probably just do a week, like per video, But sometimes it just doesn't really work out like that. Like some weeks I'll have a lot more to do than other weeks. Or some weeks are just like, 5 skull caverns runs. So it would just be a whole week of this. I don't know, maybe I'll switch to that at some point. But for this episode and next, we'll probably just stick to like 3 or 4 days. And kind of keep rolling from there. What are we at? 189? That's okay. I can never read like the numbers because I'm watching like a really small scale version. And so all the numbers look pretty similar. It looks like we're about 400 iridium, so. I saw somebody recently calling it iridium, which was kind of strange. I don't know if they did it on purpose to get like people to comment. I don't know, because iridium's a real thing. I was looking into this recently because I was trying to see if iridium is radioactive. Because to me it seems like it would be, but it's not. Because I was thinking like maybe in 1.6 they would have a new upgrade for tools. Like you could have a radioactive pickaxe. But that just wouldn't really work very well because obviously you wouldn't want your farmer like using a radioactive water pitcher to water the crops. I don't know. I want to get a new water pitcher in real life, or like a watering can. Because I have one now, but it's really small. And it's like not very practical to water more than, one section of the garden at a time. I think it's only like 48 ounces. But all the really big ones are like super ugly. And I know it doesn't matter what it looks like, but I do like my garden stuff to look nice. So anyway, yeah, here we are. This is our second harvest, which is quite a bit larger than the last one. And we'll knock it all out today. And our replanting, it should take maybe a total of like 12 hours. Pretty much the whole day. I don't actually know the fastest way to replant. Or if it's faster to like maybe plant the seeds as you harvest. Because normally what I'll do is I'll harvest with a mouse and keyboard because it feels more efficient. And then I replant with a controller and just like run back and forth over and over again. But I don't know if that's the best way, because if you look like on the controller, it takes... I immediately switch, I guess. I didn't have enough time to show, but it's a lot faster on mouse and keyboard. And so yeah, we'll do this. We'll harvest, and I'll cut it out. It's boring to watch. It makes me always want Starfruit, though. Even though I know Starfruit doesn't grow like this. So I think it's a tree fruit, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that was like 700 Starfruit, give or take. Maybe a little more. Just because we had that extra plot that we added. And our final harvest will be, I think, just under 1,000 or around 1,100, depending on what, if we expand any further. And then this whole section of the garden, like I'm just going to plant a little bit more Starfruit, and eventually I'll just get rid of it because I don't really need to grow anything else. I just need to grow Starfruit right now for money. In retrospect, I should have done a lot more of the summer forage just to get my experience in, but I didn't do it. So, that's where we're at. And I think this time, maybe we'll get some decorating in today. Maybe at least a little bit. Try to like make it look a little more, I don't know, a little more lived in, a little less crops only, you know. Because I'd like to get rid of that oak forest farm. And that won't be for a while. But eventually I want to get rid of the whole oak forest situation and be able to put either a building there or move a greenhouse over there or something. I don't know. We'll move everything around at some point. That's like one of the things I'm most excited about for 1.6 is you can finally move your house and you can move your cat bowl. And I don't know where I'll move the house. I'll probably move the house like tucked in the far left corner of the farm, just because I don't know, that seems like the most secure. Obviously, like, you don't need that in Stardew Valley because there's not like people that are going to break into your house, but I like the idea of it being surrounded by like cliff sides. It sounds cool and secure. So like ideally that's what I would have in my house now. I would be like butted up against a cliff and then have a huge front yard. And I guess, I don't know, I'd probably have to put up like rock netting above. Well, I guess it depends. Maybe I wouldn't like that. Or just in a giant open field, that would be okay too, where you can sort of see every angle. But again, that's because I'm like really weirdly paranoid about stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, we chopped more trees, even though we said we weren't going to last time. Here we are, and we just, yeah, I gave up and I bought wood, but it's easier just to buy it, and it's so cheap. Like 1,000 wood is what, 10 grand, I think? So why not buy a bunch? I can buy, 10,000 for 100k, and later on down the road, I'll barely even notice 100k. Right now, it's a little bit expensive, but still, I need the wood. I need it for tappers, I need it for kegs, I need it for pathing, I need it for all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I decided to finally fix the paths too. I didn't do the best job because I have all this junk in the way still. So it's going to look kind of messy for a little while, but it will eventually get a little bit nicer. Like this whole section will eventually get completely reworked just because of the iridium sprinkler layout thing. So all of this is pretty temporary. And I don't even really know, like, there's really no reason for me to even be doing this. Because those sprinklers don't get used almost at all. They just kind of sit there, they're showpieces. And I never know what to do down here. I kind of leave like this whole bottom section of the farm gets like pretty heavily neglected. Maybe I'll put animals there at some point. There's so many things I could do with it, but I end up like just dumping all my like tree seeds down there and letting a forest kind of grow up. Oh, I got a duck egg too. I forgot about that because I don't need to get ducks. Well, I do for a duck feather. Shoot. Either way, it'll speed up my animal bundle, which will speed up the greenhouse a little bit. And then we got more kegs. So this I'm gonna be upgrading our shed really soon. So once it gets upgraded, all the keg layout gets weird. That's kind of why I'm just putting them however. And I'll have to remove them all again anyway. And eventually I'll get an indicator keg outside. But that's for another day, I think. Oh, we're doing I guess we'll do a barn first. We do need to get a pig pretty soon. And I guess that's a little bit more of a priority than a bigger shed. Just because we need a truffle before year's end. And then we're stocking up on salads as usual. Salad is just my go-to for food. And then I think we'll hit the caverns one more time. We have most of our errands taken care of. Like, just kind of doing a little bit of farm cleanup, like renovation, I guess. But a lot of this wood is going to get torn up in like 2 months. I can never decide like what pattern I should use. I don't know if I really like this particular pattern. Like the wood, but it's one of the least offensive ones. A lot of the other ones I just don't like. The stone ones are okay, but they all feel like a little bit too busy for me. Like there's kind of a lot going on with this pathing. And then I also like struggle because like I can't think of like how would it look in real life. Like what is this pathing made out of in real life? Is it like up on stilts, or is it just like wood planks laid down in the dirt? Because that wouldn't really last very long. But, you know, I don't know. I'm just kind of doing random design. I'm not like, I didn't have anything in mind. I'm just kind of putting wood down. And then I'll put maybe some stone inlay in to make it look a little bit more interesting. But I'm not a designer, you know. This is just kind of just to see what it looks like. Keep weeds from forming a little bit more. Make the farm or the furnace area look a little more blacksmithy, you know. And then I think that's a pomegranate tree up there. Which, I don't know why I planted that. I think I already got a pomegranate. And so it's just going to be taking up space. And the only tree I really need is an apple tree. Because I'll need those 3 apples later down the road. And then, yeah, another day. We are doing a little bit more of the same. Just throwing down more paths. And we spent a little bit of time today diving into the regular mines to kill, what are they called? The, like, shadow beasts or whatever? No, they're not called that. They couldn't be. The shadow people? That sounds... Whatever, like, Krobus is. We're kind of starting to kill some of them for monster eradication goals. But really, like, when I was watching me do this, I couldn't for the life of me figure out what I was doing. Or why I did this. And maybe I was looking for, I think, a dwarf scroll. I think I'm still missing dwarf scroll 4. So maybe that's what I was doing. Otherwise, I was just kind of wasting time because I wasn't really doing this very efficiently. Like, that was a waste of time. And I'm just kind of like leisurely going through mining random rocks. So I have no clue what I'm doing, to be honest. And I don't have a hoe with me. Because normally if I'm looking for artifacts in the mines, I'll bring a hoe with me. Yeah, I just don't know. Maybe I was just burning time until Clint's opened up? There's no good way of knowing. I know this is a short day. I spent most of my time doing this, doing a couple donations to the museum, and that was kind of it. I kind of just, you know, threw it away a little bit. But I'm mining every single rock. That's what I'm not. I don't know why. Well, there's a slime. There's a special slime. I don't think I need those because they can't really drop anything that useful for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I'm just like zoned out. Oh, Yeti Tooth would have been nice. Quite a while ago. Anyway, yeah, so bailed on that. It's 11:40, so I wasn't in there very long. And then I just broke open a ton of geodes. I didn't really have space, so I just like sold ore, which is kind of a bad thing to do. And I think this is our last big geode opening little venture. After this, the only artifacts we'll need are like bone related or like Ginger Island stuff. So I don't think I'll have to do this again. And if I do, it'll be just for a couple items here and there. Because I just need... I don't know if I have the sewer key yet. If I don't have it yet, I have it now after this. And yeah, I'm missing Dwarf Scroll 4. I don't see it anywhere. So that must have been what I was doing. That's always like... That can be a run killer for like the single year perfection. Is things like Dwarf Scrolls or a lot of the bone items. It's just because they won't drop sometimes. Or like anchors or fishing treasure artifacts. It can get pretty rough. And I know the artifact trove helped with that a lot. But some of it is just hard to get. And it wasn't the case in this run, but... Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that was a waste of time. But I think we sold more treasure chests. Or just one at least. Yeah, just one. Which is fine. I was playing on, like, when I was streaming, I got a treasure chest, like, it was either day 1 or day 2. And that was really, really nice. At this point in the game, it doesn't matter nearly as much, but early game, a treasure chest is game changing, that's for sure. And then yeah, we'll finish it out with a caverns run. Another like decent run, but nothing too special. Getting better with the slingshot as always, and so that's kind of bringing up the amount of iridium I get. And then I thought I already bought all the starfruit seeds. But if I didn't, then I for sure could do it now. And the rest of summer, we might do some more fishing. I know we have some fish to catch, but it's not, like I'll just use magic bait at some point to catch all the fish. Like that's why I didn't grab legend yet. And that's why I gave up so fast on the crimson fish. Oh, you know what? I may not have done that yet. I guess spoiler. I give up on the crimson fish, like right away. That might be next episode. It's hard to catch, so give me a break. But yeah, magic bait makes everything so much easier. And I don't know what I just did there. I accidentally entered screenshot mode. But I usually cut this out, but I decided to leave it in. It's like my end of day organization, where I just like go through all my chests and like dump all my stuff and try and move things around a little bit. But it just is like a lot of time and nothing really happens. So yeah, sold some more bars, sold some seeds, and we're out of there. So I think soon we'll start doing some gifts to the villagers. I know I keep saying that, but I mean it this time. It won't be next episode, but it will be eventually. So I'll see you later.